This is the Marty Ray Project Chats, and I'm Marty Ray, one of the hosts of this podcast. You might know me from a beard video, a prank call, a rap song turned acoustic cover, or hopefully one of my original albums.
And I'm Chris Wallen. You might know me from, where would they know me from again?
You might know Chris from number one hit songs like Don't Blink by Kenny Chesney and Something to Be Proud Of by Montgomery Gentry. Whether you know either one of us or not, I bet you're going to have fun here. Welcome to the project. Download, subscribe, and rate, whether you love it or not. Sound supplied by Rodecaster Pro. He's a pop culture vulture. He's a world-renowned collector and seller of vintage memorabilia and clothing that is rare and hard to find. He finds beauty in the bootlegs, and so many others do too now. He can have a pair of white sneakers transformed into an art piece in no time. I'm going to have to get my boots transformed into Mario 3 boots. He has his own store called Generation Cool, a show on Netflix that tells a lot about his world, perfectly titled Slobby's World, and a YouTube channel called Generation Cool TV. My man, Mr. Robbie Hall, a.k.a. Slobby Robbie. What's up?
What's up, man? Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good morning. Versace sheets down.
Man.
Bro, I got the white and the black set.
Yeah. Is that the bootleg or is that the real deal?
It's the real deal, buddy. Straight from the Versace store in Las Vegas.
Wow.
Nice.
Can't have bootleg sheets, man, unless you want bed bugs and puffy skin. there are some things in life that you just got to do right sometimes, my man.
You can't go to Goodwill and get the bootleg sheets then.
I don't recommend buying much from Goodwill. In general.
Oh, I'm going to have to send some stuff back then.
I don't trust none of them.
You got the swag, man. He lays in bed, sleeps with the gold chain on Mr. T level.
Oh, my God. It's awesome.
Look at him. What is this chain? Let me see this chain a little better.
It's like a giant Gucci chain. Look at this.
Is that that looks like a genie lamps or something. What is that? Do you roll those?
The Gucci horse bit. They call that horse bit.
Nice. Well, we start every show with a fast five. Ben, can you move my camera over just slightly? I'm trying to not have to move over. We start every episode with a fast five, Slobby, and we ask you 5 quick questions. You give us 5 quick answers. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Your favorite Goonie?
Mouth.
Mouth? I was hoping you was going to say Chunk.
If I'm being super honest about who's my actual favorite, it's going to be Mouth. Even though I can relate the most with Chunk, it doesn't mean that he's my favorite.
That's true.
I feel that.
Mouth, I can kind of see you liking Mouth too. Yeah.
Mouth's fire. Mouth is the man. When he's talking about the drugs.
Yeah. You got the
That's my man.
You got the gold mouth too, so. Your favorite clothing brand. I think I know this. Is it MCM?
Man, yeah. And MCM's not exactly a clothing brand. I think it was originally meant, for luggage and travel goods. So if we were going straight for clothing, it would it's MCM. Why beat around the bush?
Yeah. Everything I see you in is MCM usually, besides your sheets. And this is the first time I've seen you in your sheets.
MCM don't make sheets.
It's the first time I've seen you in your sheets, and I'm really enjoying it.
Buddy. The Germans are not known for their sheets.
Yeah.
Those sheets are amazing.
Your favorite cartoon? Favorite cartoon?
Favorite cartoon? Woo. Mr. T.
Of course. How could it not be?
I would actually go a little farther back, and I'm going to say Super Friends, because
that's a great one.
That was kind of like my first taste of Superman, Batman, and all those guys.
You remember that? Super Friends?
Man.
What you talking about? Well, Super Friends was the one with the athletes, right?
Yeah, Mr. T. Yeah. He teamed up with like the Globetrotters, and then he had like a gymnast and a karate kid. Yeah, it was all about like being active and anti-bullying and all that good stuff. I'm a big fan of Mr. T in general and what he stands for, but the cartoon, I really just love that sort of color scheme and vibe too. But really, if I'm being an actual cartoon purist, Super Friends had a lot more to offer with action and storyline.
So you've always been big on staying active then. Oh man.
Can you tell that I called you from the gym? I'm about to make a gym post on Instagram, and I know everyone's gonna laugh so hard.
This man's wiping off on his Versace sheets.
I'm a big proponent of having fun. So, like, I'm not one. I'd rather go to the swap meet on a Friday night. I'd rather go check out, like, I'll go to a lacrosse game, a soccer game. I don't care. I like having fun. I like going to things. And believe it or not, almost every day I like to do something that's, something.
I like to do something that's something too. I always like to do something that's something.
That's it.
All right.
That's all we need.
The rarest item you've owned or own?
Oh, shoot. Well, I'm looking at my Versace trunk from the season 1 of the show. That's out there in the living room, and that's my coffee table now. And it's definitely one of a kind. I think the rarest thing we've ever had was Ernie Banks from the Chicago Cubs game-worn jersey. That was actually worn by Ernie Banks that we sold, at a Sotheby's-style auction. So that, the rarest thing I own in my house is a Versace trunk. The rarest thing I've ever sold through the shop was Ernie Banks, what you call a gamer.
Nice. What is, in the last one, what is your white whale in fashion or memorabilia?
My white whale, which a lot of people would call a grail, I guess, or a holy grail, would probably be, I would say Big Daddy Kane. I want his original MCM Jeep. So Big Daddy Kane, the rapper, had an MCM Jeep. Black on the inside, cognac MCM on the interior. I don't want to make my own. Of course I could do that. I want that one.
Well, it seems like
that one.
Seems like you'd be able to get that one.
Let's just say I'm put out my feelers.
Yeah, you're going to have it soon. Send me a pic when you get it.
Yes, sir.
Now, Generation Cool, how long has that been operational?
We've been open for 7 years. Coming this December will be our 7-year anniversary. We started in December of 2013. It was kind of at the front end of this huge sort of vintage and resell and recycled goods revolution that we're all in the middle of now. It was sort of born out of necessity and born out of the fact that all these jobs that I was applying for after I got my master's were just complete bullshit. And I was always making more money on eBay and throwing parties and doing, making more money being a degenerate on the internet than I was, with my master's degree. So it was sort of a eureka moment, so to speak, a moment of what you call satori, and a moment of realization of that this is like everything I do actually is just one thing. Nice.
So when did the fascination for like clothing and all this type of stuff, did that come from a boy or did that come later?
Absolutely, 100%. I loved clothes, and I'm appreciation of all things. I love seeing somebody in full on, like we're out here in Tucson, Arizona, full on Western attire with they got a lasso. I've seen people walking around with lassos where I'm from.
Wow, man.
You gotta get that Versace lasso. I need to see that around your neck next time.
I went into a YouTube wormhole of kids lassoing each other. That was hilarious. You're talking borderline attempted murder. You know what I mean? You start strangling someone with a lasso on the internet. Anyways, back then, it sounds sort of, cliche, but Air Jordans really got me into the game. And I loved the idea of having a high-end sneaker or, something that was just kind of a funky, something specific to your personality, because I got into Barclays and Bo Jacksons and Agassiz and these bright colors and these patterns and stuff Nike was doing. And that's kind of where it started for me. And then I got into hypercolor and cross colors and really again, hyper expressive, bold and sort of garish, tastes in clothes that the 90s kind of embodied already anyway. The 80s and the 90s, my two eras, where individualism and color and pop culture really came to rise, and so I was sort of, I guess, a product of my environment. And then it became, when you start realizing that it's more than a hobby, it can really take over your life. But when something makes you super happy, why wouldn't it take over your life,
Now, the bootlegs that are now popular, that when I was growing up, bootlegs was something you got made fun of. And now you and other people are wearing the bootlegs, and they're more sought after, or just as much as the actual real items. When did that happen? Did you start this?
Well, it's a really, and I think to a certain degree, probably. I think that there was, I know for a fact that Gucci, for instance, has taken screenshots of my page, and you can see, with certain apps, who's taking screenshots and who's bookmarking your posts, and I don't think it's, I think it would be really sort of sophomoric to be one of these people that screams that these companies are stealing my ideas, or I did that first. That's not really my style. I think, again, we know, we know who's en vogue, and if you're en vogue, you don't worry about other people following you or biting your style, because that was the whole point of you being in vogue in the first place. Yeah. So I was doing it a long time ago in the early 2000s. I was buying bootleg Gucci sweatshirts off eBay, and wondering, why is it on an American, why is it on a AAA tag? Why would Gucci print on a AAA tag? These are things I'm asking myself in my early 20s, when I'm ordering stuff off eBay. And then I wasn't like, oh, I got a fake sweatshirt, I'm going to report these guys. I was like, this is cool. This is something I could, I can flex, because guess what? Gucci doesn't make sweatshirts that fit me and you, dude. And not even right now.
Hey,
and do you think that's an accident? It's by design, it's by design, no pun intended. So, long story short, not only did people like me, even the Kylie Jenners and Travis Scotts of the world who were wearing bootleg, maybe a couple years after I was sort of pushing it as an agenda or a style point. And then it turned into one of these amazing things where art imitates life, and Gucci is taking their bootleg designs from the 80s, or someone else's bootleg, China's bootleg designs, or Mexico, and turning it into high fashion and putting them out themselves as $1,400 sweatshirts. And then Drake's wearing it. And, all of a sudden it's, when Big Brother, or whoever you want to say, the man, tells you something is okay, all of a sudden it's okay for everybody. And it was always all right with me. Right. And now everything anybody wants to do with their life is always all right with me. And I don't need, Joe, Brad Pitt to tell me that it's all right. So I think I shop at Gucci. I have a huge sales record with them. It's online. I know people want to get on and get into this game and want to talk to. But you can come to Gucci with me anytime, anybody, and we can go through, and they're going to pull up the computer and they're going to show you all my purchases. So
I'm going to do that.
I think that I've always walked that fine, the fine line of, being the kind of person that's going to spring for the nice and go all out and not be afraid to buy this stuff and understand that it's expensive for a reason. And I'm into it. I get it. But at the same time, I understand the polar opposite, which is that everybody has the right to make fan art. Everybody, in the world of fashion and art, there aren't really rules, and people, I think should feel like they should be able to. Someone wants to paint a painting of Princess Leia in slave, gear with Pizza the Hut holding her. Like, what's George Lucas really going to do about it? At the end of the day, man, he's going to send you a letter and he's going to do all that. But you know what? At the end of the day, It's all the same thing. It's all art and it's all fashion.
You ever thought about opening your own, like as far as your own line of clothing?
Yeah,
with the
how I got
80s
into
feel.
Yeah. Yes. So the way things kind of naturally come full circle, of course, that's how I got into this kind of stuff a lot from the way back, you know, when I was 17, 18, 19, I was into screen printing. I had my own brands.
Right.
I was doing stuff with Transformers on it, Hordak from He-Man, you know, Jordan ripoffs, you know, so that's kind of where I came from, you know, my background. So yes. But secondly, the more I got into fashion, the more I realized I didn't want to be part of fast fashion, and I didn't want to make stuff that people wear, you know, for a year and then it's out of style, even if being retro and referencing 80s and 90s never goes out of style, in my opinion. I didn't want to be part of fast fashion or streetwear by any means. So I came in the back door into the fashion world in a different way. And, you know, our Generation Cool clothing line and merch and everything Slobby Robbie, all my clothes that I make that are Slobby Robbie branded are all 80s and 90s themed. I do a lot of collaborations with big companies. I'm going to be working with MCM, Foot Locker,
Very cool.
Chalkline, you know, Champion, some of these big brands that I mess with, you know, utilize a lot of my aesthetics, you know, and a lot of this kind of vibe's going to be utilized. And I am also bringing back my first clothing line ever from when I was 18 called Man-Child, which is going to be basically exactly what you're saying, which is I have a big Man-Child tattoo. It's a picture of myself as a baby holding balloons, and it says Man-Child. And I got that when I was 18.
That's awesome.
So my first company is Man-Child. I have a line of bootleg toys where we're recasting He-Mans. We're moving parts around. We're doing Universal Monsters rips. Really cool, really nostalgic stuff. So Man-Child, my new brand, it's launching anytime in the next 2 months. I have a set of toys and a line of T-shirts that all go together. And will be available probably on some pretty big platforms like 80s Tees and 8-Bit Zombie and some of these bigger name websites will be carrying our stuff.
Now, it's funny you say you have a baby as the logo for it, because my daughter, my oldest daughter, just drew a logo of me, and it was literally me as a baby.
Fire.
Yeah, I got to send it to you.
I love it.
You'll think it's cute.
I love it.
I hope you do. Do you think I'm cute? First of all, do I look cute now?
I mean, we have to be, dog.
This right here is Versace.
And if we weren't, everybody's always like, yo, how did you get the show on Netflix? Yeah, I sent them an email, dog. Like, people are like, did you just email them or what? And I was like, yeah, I emailed them, dude. I left them a voicemail. You gotta be cute. You gotta be intelligent. You gotta be clever. You know, if you're people like me and you in this world trying to operate, you know, we gotta come with some fucking, you know, some good strings attached, you know.
Speaking
we gotta be cute, man.
That's a nice segue into, you mentioned the Netflix show. I'm curious how much did your clientele go up after the show? Drastically, I imagine.
I like to say I like to tell people that I was a big deal way before the show store or the show. So I'll start out by saying that, because like I don't need no TV show to have people think that I'm interesting. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I spent a good deal of my life when I was younger, like picturing myself being on TV, always imagining myself being sort of somebody, you know, who can keep the interest and entertain the masses. And, you know, so that was, it was a smooth transition into, you know, whatever, being famous or popular, or, you know, whatever, like, you know, it's so business wise, hell yeah, of course, our web sales and our tourism, I would say, are the two big, like, you know, market sort of monetizing things that you could point at. But I think the true success has really been that I was always a people person. I was always approachable. I was always well known and easy to recognize. And so for me personally, it hasn't been a big change, I'll be honest, at all, because I was the kind of person getting yelled at out of cars, you know, and recognized when I was in high school. Whereas for the store itself as an entity, it's been a big deal financially. Yes, it's been, you know, a big difference for us. And we were all, not to say we weren't doing great before.
There's no way that your sales did not just skyrocket after the show. I mean, people like me who would have nothing to do with fashion, you know, I like to say I stay in vogue, you know, but other than that, I have nothing to do. I don't look up fashion, don't care about fashion, but your show was something else. It was a vintage type show. So it was showing some vintage toys and vintage gaming and all these things and things that I care about, but I don't care about the clothes and whatnot. But I became fascinated by it because of your show. So people like me who might now buy something from your store wouldn't before. I would have never known you or anything about you had it not been for that show. I'm glad it was, because you're cool. You're definitely Generation Cool through and through.
Yeah, that's definitely a big deal. You know, I like to say that, you know, we were part of vintage going public or becoming, you know, I hate to say these cliche words like mainstream or something, but, you know, much like rap music, country music, DJing, graffiti, you know, all these subcultures at some point get exposed to the masses, you know, through certain outlets or for various reasons, and they don't go away, you know. So I think it's a beautiful thing that people have been able to understand the art of vintage and accept and sort of absorb what we do and want to be part of it. And it's amazing, you know, and it's going to help save the planet, and it's going to help people become more connected in their communities, you know, through swap meets, flea markets, yard sales, whatever, you know. That whole industry is thriving now, you know.
Well, your brand is memories. I mean, you sell memories.
Nostalgia.
You know. Well,
the chemical in your brain called nostalgia, you know.
The first thing I think of when I was, you know, I think of parachute pants. Dude, back in the day, I used to rock some parachute pants.
Did you really?
Let me tell you something. If you've never been paddled at school, I was paddled at school wearing parachute pants.
I paddled him today in his jeans, so that's a little weird.
It's a weird.
It's like wearing nothing.
You know, in my head, I had parachute pants on, though.
Did you?
Man, you do not want to be paddled with parachute pants.
I don't think you want to be paddled at all.
I do.
Speak for yourself. Hey, so Slobby, you like being paddled?
We had
he's like, I have a Versace paddle that I make.
We had no, this is great. We had an episode of the show that they cut out where we bought a house, we rented a house, and we called it Hump House, and we turned it into our own fraternity, right? And we invited all these girls over, and we played beer pong, and they were like a big sorority, and they were, you know, and these are all people who never went to college, never were in fraternities and sororities, and we made paddles, of course, and we had real frat boys come in, and I did a chugging contest against the frat boys of beer, and I kept winning, and I would shake. I was going 1, 2, 3, and I was shaking the beer out when I would do it, and then I would win. And these guys were pro chuggers. They were like actual frat boys, and they kept winning. They're like, "Oh, he's cheating, bro!" And I remember whispering in one of the dude's ears. I was like, "Yo, dude, first of all, you, bro." And I was like, "This is my show. Of course I'm gonna win." I was like, and then I was like, also like, second of all, dude. Like, beat me, bro, you know? Like, beat me in this contest. And then at the end, I ended up just going, like to a dark place and opening up my throat and just pouring a beer down my throat and beating this guy in the contest, and everyone cheered. It was amazing. Like, I legit ended up just kind of, like, totally smashing on this dude.
And they cut it. Why did they cut the episode?
They cut it. So anyway, paddles. Speaking of paddles, we had these paddles, and I had all the girls running up and paddling Hump House. Boom! Whack! And I would wait like 20 minutes till he was getting casual and talking to someone again. I'd have one of the girls run up. Whack! And at one point, he's like, it's not funny anymore, dude. It's not funny anymore, dude. I'm probably just going to sit the rest of the episode out. And I was like, come on, man. Like, come on, man.
Come on, man. Get paddled.
Get paddled.
Take these licks, bro. Come on.
Exactly, for the show, dog.
It's for
the episode,
Netflix.
they're not
Take
gonna
your
use.
licks.
Come on.
Take your licks. It's for Netflix. Get your licks on Root Netflix. Now, I got a question. You know, talking about Versace and your sheets and all this stuff, you wear a lot of Versace. You like Versace. Do you purposefully do your hair to look like the Versace logo's hair? Looks like it to me.
No, my hair is based around Lion-O from Thundercats.
Oh, Thundercats.
Never did
like
like
it.
Thundercats.
Thundercat. Whoa.
I never did watch Thundercats.
I just remember going from like shaved head, everyone thinking I'm a skinhead or a soccer thug, to growing my hair out, and all of a sudden everyone at the bank was calling me sweetie, and like, you know, I was like the sweet guy with the shaggy hair. You know, like I went from like white gangster who my mom's friends were like afraid of to like everyone being like, oh, hi, and like, you know, like rubbing my head. And I remember being like, you know, I wanted to go up like Lion-O, like just like live. I just wanted to like live in the air, you know? So
I think I seen this skit on Saturday Night Live once.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't get the option to grow my hair back out. If I grow my hair back out, it's a horseshoe. So
Right.
thanks for bragging.
Well, I'll tell you what. My 40th birthday's on Saturday next week, and my party's on Saturday. I thought about shaving my head. I got a low bald spot. The front's going, but I'm gonna try to ride it out. You know, I'm gonna try to go for 45.
Hey,
and then call it a day.
Propecia works as long as you don't want to have sex.
Oh, there's side effects?
Yeah, impotency.
It's not true. I take it.
Okay, well,
That is true.
I'm good.
It is a side effect of it.
Well, I
When's
have
the
no
last time you had
problem.
sex?
It's been a while, but you know, well, with someone else.
He's like, it's not true. I take it. Wait a minute. I haven't had sex in a long time. He's like, I don't think
it's because of the pill.
Well, that's a side effect of it. Sobby, just go with caution. I know you're a man of the Versace sheets, and it gets a little silky in there, you know.
I'm good. I do all my dirt out in the living room.
Oh, dude, you refuse
Classy.
to do that in the Versace.
Yeah, I would never
Don't want to soil the Versace.
No, that's a special woman. who
How
gets that.
how dare her want to do that on the Versaces?
Oh God, that's disgusting.
That's horrible.
I have to sleep in here.
We're going to do that on the leather couch out there, not the Versace
That's what
sheets.
cars are for, dude. What do we have cars for? Homie, why did I spend insurance on my car every month if I can't use it?
That's true. Hey, that's a wise quote, and I'm gonna put that in my quote book. Speaking of famous people, now how many famous people came to know you because of the Netflix show that you know of?
Probably not as many as you would think, but because I'm a big time name dropper, and I'm the kind of person who just makes friends with people like that anyway. So I already knew them all.
Did you already know DMC?
Yeah.
You did?
But I did. DMC and I met in real life through a mutual friend when I first opened the store. And he would text me. And the funny thing is, the first day he got my phone number, he wrote a SLOBBY ROBBY rap and texted it to me at like 2 in the morning. And I'm thinking, damn, dog, you're a dedicated friend. It's like 5 in the morning for you. Like,
yeah. Well, I got something I'm going to send you.
He is rapping to me.
I got something I'm going to send you at 5 a.m.
Right.
I got a nice picture of me in my sheets.
Oh, nice.
And mine are thoroughly used, though. So we use ours. You know what I mean? We ain't shy. You know what I mean, Robbie? We ain't trying to protect nothing.
That's okay.
He's rubbed the logos off.
In the middle of the show, we always like to do what's called a what not to eat. This is things that you would never want to eat. So pay attention. You might have eaten some of these. I don't know. The first one is it's a Japan delicacy called Jerry. Called it's a man named Jerry. They eat him. It's weird.
You get to eat Jerry.
Yeah.
Don't be named Jerry and go to Japan.
He's delicious.
Can't stand him.
Yeah. Cherry blossom meat. Can you put that up on the screen, Ben, and see if cherry blossom meat? Now, what do y'all think that is? What do you think that is, Slobby?
That's definitely an organ, an internal organ that's been smashed with some type of mallet.
They used a Versace mallet only to tenderize that meat. That is just simply raw horse meat served as a part of sushi. High hole silver on my plate. Raw horse meat.
Wow.
I'm good on that. I got a weird horse thing where I don't. It's a really weird condition where I don't eat horse.
Really?
Oh,
dang. Well,
man.
I just don't.
Shoot, I was going to take you to some sushi.
Horse. That's what my doctor calls it. My doctor calls it don't eat horse meat.
Wow. It's rare.
I need to get checked. Chris, what's yours?
Man, let's see. I have served in Canada. Of course, it's in Canada. The nose is boiled in onions, garlic, spices, and vinegar. Jellied moose nose. They eat jellied moose nose in Canada.
Look, can you put that link up, Ben? I want to see this. I got to see what this looks like.
Man.
Jellied
moose nose. I wonder if it can smell you tasting it.
I wonder how the moose feels without having a nose.
That's true.
Oh,
man.
I guess you don't have that image. Anyway, Robbie, would you try? We lost Robbie too. Can you hear us, Robbie?
Nope.
Don't know what just happened.
We can't hear Robbie.
Oh, we heard something.
Robbie?
Good?
Yeah, we got you. When you put your hand over it, it really...
Sorry about that.
It changed things for us.
Okay.
Jellied moose nose. You down for some jellied moose nose and some raw horse meat?
I am not down. Again, not any facial meat.
Oh, look at it.
Again,
oh, man, look at it.
Part of my restricted diet. Oh, come on.
Man, that would stain a Versace sheet. That
Look
would
at
stain
that.
the sheet.
He's about to stain him.
He just stained it almost
I think
with the
he
vomit.
just stained them.
Homie, I'm a gagger. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm known to gag and throw up fairly easily.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, there's something about the gelatinous nature of the
Yeah.
You think you eat that with
covering of
crackers?
that
Man.
I think you eat it with peanut butter.
That is
Okay.
not.
Peanut butter and jellied moose knuckle.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Moose, not
Moose knuckle.
Not knuckle.
No.
We went through that route.
Yeah, sorry. That
Yeah.
I always think of David Bowie when you say moose knuckle.
peanut. The old classic peanut butter, jelly, moose nose.
Yeah.
Moose nose, yeah.
It's the old classic. All right. Did you start collecting clothing and memorabilia? Like what was the actual the earliest memory that you have of collecting? Like when because I had tons of toys, right? Star Wars. I had some toys that was worth a lot of money now, but I didn't collect any of them. Did you collect back then? And you say I'm going to keep this? Or
no, I'm not. Come on, man. I'm not the nerd who lived down the street from you, bro. Who ended up being
you actually played with your items.
Oh my God! You know who I am? I'm the one who burned them and switched the heads, and
Yeah,
I even found a way to rub my GI Joes against the screen door that would wear down certain parts of them for battle damage. I'm a toy.
Nice.
You know what they say about really gifted, intelligent kids? They usually destroy their toys. That coming as a former early childhood educator, I can tell you that's actually 100% true. So there's probably something wrong with the people who kept their toys in the box when they were a kid.
I had some friends that their parents would buy them for some reason. They would, on certain toys, they would buy them one to keep in the box and one to play with. Now, how rich of a parent do you have to be able to do it? Like I had to beg just to get I never did get the actual. What was the flagship, the U.S. flag?
The USS flag from G.I. Joe, yeah.
I wanted that so
AKA
bad.
The battleship.
I wanted that so bad, man. Literally as big as my room.
Bro, First of all, in the sneaker game, we call that one to stock, one to rock, and I've never done that in my life either. I just buy one to rock, you know.
Yeah.
But when it comes to that, I can say that a huge inspiration for me was my rich neighbor whose parents were both doctors. He had the USS Flag. He had the space shuttle. He had the Millennium Falcon. He had all the superpowers, all the Secret Wars, Marvel. Every toy I wanted, he just had them all, the whole line. And
you hated him.
I remember being in high school and trying to break into his parents' storage behind his house just to obtain all those toys. And I remember one of my friends being like, "What is wrong with you, dog? What did this guy do to you?" And I was like, he was just richer than me, man. And he had everything, you know, and I wanted all those toys so bad that I was willing to obtain a felony. Like, what, are they not going to recognize the fat kid who grew up 20 years, like 2 doors down? I'm back there like, so
Yeah.
I bought all that stuff, you know, all the sneakers that I didn't have when I was a kid. All the toys that Zach Kramer had that I didn't have, I bought. And that's a really big part of where it all started for me as far as a grown-up, really, this being so important to me. It was, you know, that I didn't have much, and I wasn't poor by any means, but I had, you know, 1 or 2 figures. You know, I didn't have all 4 turtles. Like, I don't, like, you know, who has that?
No, I did have every
like,
turtle.
Who are these people?
Man.
I did have every turtle. I had every single Ninja Turtle. I even had the trucks. My grandmother,
Sick.
yeah, she was big into, and we weren't rich, we weren't poor. It's kind of like you. We weren't rich, but we weren't poor either. But my grandmother knew we were into turtles, and for one Christmas, she just got this huge box and just put every Ninja Turtle at Walmart in there, and every truck, and like even the truck that shot the sewer drain covers.
The turtle van.
Yeah, man. But all the vans didn't shoot. But this one shot.
So there's an actual pizza shooter. It looks like a smaller version of the van, and it shoots pizzas out the front. There's the turtle van, and then there's the news van. April's news van,
right.
which if you're a big time nerd, you want to get on eBay and drop 500, you can get yourself a little April news van.
I never cared about the news van. Still don't. Yeah.
That's just why it's worth so much.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted it, and they discontinued it.
I didn't even know that was a thing, to be honest with you.
Hey, Slobby, so I got a buddy that years ago got drunk at an auction. And to this day, he literally woke up and didn't know that he spent all this money. He has Sammy Davis Jr.'s Versace luggage.
Whoa!
In his house. It has his initials on it, and he has like a whole thing. He bought this. He was just tanked out of his mind. He's sober now, but at the time, he's tanked out of his mind, and he woke up, and he has Sammy Davis Jr.'s Versace luggage. How much do you think something like that is worth?
Well, really, I'm hearing you twice. I don't like it, Chris. I barely like to hear you once.
Yeah. It's hard enough hearing him once.
I know, right? Man.
With something like that, you know, you start with the value of the vintage luggage just by itself.
Right.
And then you add on the celebrity aspect and the historical aspect, and that can increase it by, you know, probably a couple thousand, you know?
Yeah.
So to the right person, you know, like they tell you in Antiques Roadshow, to the right person, you know, that could be a $5,000 to $10,000, you know, thing. I hope he didn't spend, you know, that much at the auction. But
I don't know.
The biggest problem with that stuff is when someone overpays on the frame.
Right,
you know?
right, yeah. Yeah.
I'm still trying to hear if we're hearing ourselves back.
I know, I don't know what that is.
But Robbie, son of a gun.
It's feedback coming from his phone.
Is it from me?
He's got it on speakerphone and how he's holding it probably.
No, we hadn't heard it this whole time. I don't know. I want to see what you're watching on TV. I almost saw a nipple a while ago.
My daughter doing school.
How much gold do you own? How much? A room full? What?
Yeah, so like there's my, like I have like all these little Jesus statues, and I hang all the gold from them. What?
That's not all of it, though.
Nah, I've probably got upwards of couple hundred gold chains and silver chains and white gold and any kind of precious metals. So probably a couple hundred chains, different sizes. Got rings, gold set, silver set, 50 rings on hand. 20, 30 bracelets. I have 5, 6 Versace bracelets alone. And teeth. I have about 10 different pairs of teeth. So these are Versace teeth. They have a little Versace head in the middle.
Wow.
I have MCM teeth. I have all white gold that are all chunked up, all gangster. So I got about 10 pairs of teeth. I got a bunch more teeth coming in for season 2, though. So that's going to be a big deal to unveil a bunch of the cool new.
I was just about to ask if there was guaranteed to be a season 2.
Yeah, so it's guaranteed only based on the fact that I released myself from Complex, the original network, and got out of my contract, sort of similar to a bad music contract,
Were you with Complex before season 1?
I originally shot it on Complex, and it ran on Complex for a whole season, and then Complex sold it to Netflix after a year later.
I didn't even know Complex, you could get into a contract with Complex. I just thought that was a YouTube channel.
Complex is a multimedia network similar to something like Rolling Stone or Vice, somewhere between Rolling Stone magazine and Vice. So they have their own programming. They have lots of different things they do. They have morning shows. They review music, but they cut their TV cable syndication style stuff down and sold it all to Netflix at one point. So they got out of the internet TV biz, and they're a little bit more, like you're saying, YouTube and viral based stuff.
So there is a season 2. It's done.
Have you already shot it?
So I released myself, got a completely new. It's not done. I have not shot it yet. I was about to start shooting right before all this COVID stuff came into play.
Right.
So as soon as this stuff blows over, I have a production team and a network ready to pay me to shoot it and ready to get on the horse and go. I'm like writing out. I've already wrote all the episodes. Well, talked about what kind of guests.
Let me know if you need some music for one.
Yeah, well, we got to do like a cool old Tucson thing,
I'll write a song for you.
Moseying around. I'm down. Super down.
It's happening. I'm gonna text it to you in 5 o'clock in the morning one morning.
Yep.
That's happening.
And then we'll put DMC on it.
That'd be amazing.
Nice.
That'd be something for real right there. If DMC got on it. So here's the thing that we just broke that. I want to, if there's anything that you can break right here on this show that nobody else knows about, like maybe a slobby book or whatever it might be. Slobby podcast. You need to post more videos on your YouTube channel. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, that was just a pilot to see how it went.
Well, it's a grind on YouTube.
I have a plan. I'm building an office and a TV studio behind my store right now. As soon as that's all set up and air conditioned, we're gonna be able to do content right there in the back, and it's gonna work out real nicely.
Nice. What else? What else you got going on?
So the podcast, I got 2 things for you. One to follow up on the podcast idea. I'm doing a new podcast called Culture Vultures with Retro and Rare. He's a really cool dude. He knows a lot about video games and music. He's a little more video games and music based. And I'm a little bit more pop culture and fashion based. So it'll be a nice balance. He is, really loud and opinionated, and it's going to be a nice mix of a couple of loud dudes who have a lot to say. And so Culture Vulture podcast, that'll be on iTunes and YouTube and all that good stuff. And that's very soon, within the next month probably. And then I'm on a non-disclosure agreement, but I don't give whatever. I have a game show coming up that's vintage based, and it will be on a major network, and it is a game show about vintage. And let's just say I'll be the Guy Fieri of sorts when it comes to this game show.
You deserve it. Please make your hair blonde.
Not talking about Triple D.
Headed to Fashion
It's not
Town.
like Triple D. It's like another show he does, and I'll be the host.
Nice.
Very cool.
I love that. I can't wait to see
Nobody knows
it.
about that, but you guys.
That's amazing.
And everyone else now.
now the whole world's going to know.
Cool.
Now, before we go, I want to do something because, I'm a big Goonies is my favorite film from my childhood, and I know it's yours
Me too.
right? And it might be these guys
Yes,
as
sir.
well.
Oh, man.
Jared.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So
Dope.
I want to ask you some questions about Goonies, see if you can answer them.
Yes, please.
I bet you can't answer these. But if you do, I'll be very shocked. And I'll send you something at 5 o'clock, real special. Be ready. All right, here we go. What sports team T-shirt does Sloth wear in the movie?
Okay, so it's obviously not his Superman shirt. So
No.
it's earlier. It must be earlier when he's in the room, and it has stripes on it, and it's kind of like a football jersey, but a team. It's a T-shirt of a team that's made to look like a jersey. And I want to say it's an NFL team like the Jets, something like that. The Jets or the Giants, a New York team.
The fact that you narrowed it all the way down to NFL
Wow, that's pretty
is
crazy.
pretty crazy.
It is.
But it's not the Jets. It's the Oakland Raiders.
That's so perfect.
It
They're
really
so
is.
smart for doing. That's so perfect.
Now, did either one of y'all know that?
No.
I should have gave y'all a chance to answer, but
No,
y'all
no.
both looked like y'all were like,
We're like,
he wore a shirt. I
Wait.
there was a shirt.
I just remember his great smile.
Also, I don't know if y'all know this or not. This is not one of the questions, but you know that Sloth had a stuntman as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, because when he did the pickup stuff, it was like,
I don't know. He had a stuntman, which was crazy to me. What movie is referenced in the Goonies by the sheriff?
Gremlins.
Gremlins. I knew you'd
Gremlins,
get that
dog.
Amazing.
You got that
one. I knew you'd get
fast.
that one. Hey, don't cover up that nipple again. Man. Leave the nipple. Free the nipple.
Hashtag free the nipple.
I got the AC turned down way low, bro.
We can tell. It's cutting.
You're going to tear that Versace sheet on the inside.
He's tearing.
You're going to tear it, man. It gets too
It's
cold.
ripping. It's ripping. Here's a question. The next question. Where was the Goonies filmed?
Okay, so Astoria is a made-up name. So it's a different town in Oregon. And this one I should know, but I feel like a buster because I
No,
don't.
it was Astoria.
Okay.
It was Astoria, Oregon. I didn't want to carry that on too
Astoria,
long because
Oregon,
you'd already
right,
gotten
yeah.
it. What happened to Chunk that caused him to almost lose the role? He almost had to back out of the role.
So he's a teen. He was a preteen. So it could have been something like tonsillitis or something to do with his bar mitzvah. I'm going to go either tonsillitis.
He's narrowing this stuff down like it's like CSI, man. He's like,
Watching Slobby's brain work
oh
like
my
that
God.
is really amazing.
It really is.
I mean, I need to get me some Versace sheets. There's something in that ink or something.
Oh
they use.
man, it's like
I gotta
What's
get
the
some
answer,
gold in my
though?
mouth. It's
What
definitely not
happened?
bar mitzvah. That's funny though. It's chicken pox, which I thought you were about to say.
Oh, I was so close to first. I was on the right track.
You was so close. I was like, he's about to
was on
say
the
chicken
right
pox.
track.
oh man.
This man should have been a detective. That gum. Okay. What character? Now this is crazy. I didn't know this. I didn't know this at all. This blew my mind. You might know this, Jared. What character can be seen on the deck of the One-Eyed Willie pirate ship?
is it just in general? There's like a character that shows up.
It's a Steven Spielberg character from a movie. It's not like a human.
God, it's gotta be E.T.
What do you think, Jared? It's not E.T.
Jerry Blossom.
Jerry Blossom, you got it. Yeah. Yeah, you know, Steven Spielberg's a big fan of the Jerry Blossom.
Who is it?
Who do you think? Take a guess.
Well-known fact.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones. No, who is it?
Yeah, Harrison Ford.
Yeah, Harrison Ford's like hanging out with One-Eyed Willie.
Oddly enough, Harrison Ford hung out on the set with them.
Harrison Ford's like, he belongs in a museum.
Yeah. Oh my God! What a crossover!
Nice.
Crossover. Hey, that needs to happen.
It was.
What?
Go ahead. You got a guess? You
No,
got another guess?
What happened?
You know what? We're losing you. I can't. I'm just messing with you. We're not losing you. That was a joke. You're still there, right?
Yes.
At this point, it's R2D2.
Wait.
What?
He was on the ship?
R2D2's on the ship.
What?
Of One-Eyed Willie.
Really?
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. No, I mean, he's not. It's not like he's moving around like a robot on the ship.
Yeah, he's just laying there.
There's an R2D2 laying in the bottom of the hull. When
That's amazing.
Wow.
When the villains are, what's her name? Mama. What's her name? Slobby.
The Fratellis.
Mama Fratelli. When her and one of the sons is sitting there arguing, down at the bottom you can see R2D2.
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
Sick.
Now, did you ever hear that Goonies was really all about sex? With the One-Eyed Willie and the penis statue and whatnot?
One-Eyed Willie.
One-Eyed Willie is another reference for a penis, though. You know? Did you ever hear that?
I mean, I went to art school, so I've heard like 2-hour-long lectures on how every piece of art ever is about sex. So, you know.
Well, this podcast is about it now with you in those sheets.
Bruh, you're welcome.
All right, Slide, we're going to let you go, but before we go, we do an unbelievable fact, and we want to do that now. Ben, go ahead and hit that intro to it.
You might think it's not true, but I assure you that it is. It's hard to believe it's an unbelievable fact.
Here's the unbelievable fact. A ball of glass will bounce higher than a rubber ball. Got it. He shook.
That's unbelievable.
He shook.
Yeah.
Truth.
So
Yeah.
it doesn't break. Oh, well, the glass itself bounces higher after it breaks.
I don't know. I just know that's a true fact. I don't know.
Yeah, you can just make anything up. You're like, I don't know. It's just, it's just an unbelievable fact.
It just happens.
A ball of peanut butter will bounce higher
Every
than
time I get caught doing something dusty, from now on, I'm like, I don't know, babe. It's an unbelievable fact.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. But that really is a fact. You and I need to get together and try that sometime and see if how true that is.
Sure.
Yeah.
Bill, you got one, Chris?
Yeah, I got one. Okay, so when Prohibition went into effect in the United States in 1920, Walgreens pharmacies numbered only 20. Hardly a nationwide chain. However, there were precious few legal ways to procure alcohol during that time. And doctors could make some extra money on the side by prescribing medicinal whiskey to their patients.
Nice.
Medicinal whiskey.
I wonder if medical whiskey is just as good as medical marijuana.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Slobby, thank you so much for tuning in. Or not tuning. You didn't tune in. Well, you did. It took a little bit at the beginning, but we got you, and I'm so glad we did. I'm a fan. I like your style, I like your swag, and I want to be you when I grow up.
I don't know if you can do both.
Hey, right back at you, bro. Come teach me how to play guitar on camera.
Hey, I'm serious. Let's talk about doing some kind of cool song or something for the show,
Yeah.
or just for you two.
Yeah, I can't come out and let's do a YouTube episode and teach me how to play guitar because
that'd be
like
cool.
a childhood dream of mine that I've struggled with. Like I can't even sing a song back to somebody, bro. I'm like, that song, and they're like, yeah,
Sing us
I'm
out
like,
real quick.
rock,
Yeah.
Sing us out your favorite song right now. Sing us out.
Ma na 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 ba na 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 na.
Sounds like the
That's
record.
Crocodile Rock by Elton John.
Man, it sounded just
I
like
thought it was a record playing.
It did, Chris. It sounded like he was playing the CD.
Smooth.
It's got to be the Sheets.
Smooth
Slobby,
criminal.
I wouldn't have wanted to have an interview with you in any other place than your bedroom.
It's amazing.
Thank you, my friend.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
God bless you.
See you, man.
God bless y'all. Peace.
Cheers.
Thank y'all so much for listening to the Marty Ray Project Chats. And a big thank you to Rode for supplying the sound with Rodecaster Pro. Whether you like what you heard or hated what you heard, subscribe and rate us anyway. Let us have it. Thank you all for staying this long, for those that did. Remember that song that I talked about writing for Robbie for the Netflix season 2 or whatever he wants to do with it? I did that. I sent it to him, and I want to share it with you. The little bit of a rough version of a song that I wrote called Slobby's World. I wrote it with my buddy CJ Wilder. Sent it to Robbie. He loved it. We got plans for it. So, for all those that stuck around, it's a little treat for you. Let me know. Message me if you heard this or not. Then I'll know who's really listening. Here it is. Slobby's World. I got the pieces if you need 'em. Come and get 'em. Wear 'em, collect 'em, even if it's hard to find 'em. You can get 'em if you want one. 'Cause Slobby Robbie's got the gold thumb, ice gum, red rum, out everything that he touches with the gold. Swirl, Versace curl, treasure pearls, stacked up to the ceiling in this wild and wonderful Slobby's world. Oh, wild and beautiful Slobby's world.